being that like the real soul of, our fandom comes from movies. Like that's like if I had to choose one out of all these things, it's always going to be movies. And that's how we came together through movies. We have our Apocalypse channel. A lot of our viewers come to us because of movies. So we're going to start our first segment with our movie segment here. And we're just going to have a general discussion about theaters being back. We're going to talk about that Many Saints of Newark trailer for those of you who didn't see our reaction. And even if you did, we just want to talk about it even more. We're going to talk a little bit of F9, even though I know Keith hasn't seen it. Gio will probably join for that discussion. And I know Keith does not care about spoilers for that movie.
Not at all.
We'll talk a little bit of Quiet Place 2, a little bit of Luca. Keith wants to talk some Spiral, and we'll talk some movie news. Actually, let's start with the movie news, and let's bring our buddy Gio Ramos into the show whenever he is ready. What is up, Gio? Welcome. You are the first guest on the new Bartley and Barnes. How you doing, man?
Good. You guys caught me off guard a little bit. I was expecting a little bit of time, but hey, you put me on the spot, so it makes it even more fun.
Hey, feel free to come and go as you please, man.
I gotta say, welcome back, guys. It's nice to see you two on screen again, and keep it going, 1 month at a time.
Awesome, man. And it's typically a two-man show, but it's nice to have another guest on, and especially I like what you're going to be bringing to the show. Gio will be on whenever he's available to be on our show, and I still owe you some Fandom United appearances, and I promise I will fulfill those, Gio. We did that Batman review recently, so I guess we're even. So we're
yes, we did. Yeah.
So you guys, so back when we first started Apocalypse, right, and all that, I was, and Gio was too. We were heavily we were following movie news like crazy. Like we knew everything, every little piece of movie news that dropped, we knew about it. And I used to follow it religiously and be on top of everything and know everything. I do not do that anymore. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just like I don't have time. Like I don't even know how I used to have time to be to know everything. Like I knew everything that was going on. And now I'm like so behind on movie news. And I catch up hearing from you guys for the most part. And when we go on Apocalypse. So, Gio, you gathered together some news topics for us in the movie world. So let's get into it, man. What do you got for us first?
Okay, so the first one is going to be MCU related. Black Panther has officially begun filming. It's happening, guys. There's a lot of questions that we have, a lot of curiosity. Obviously, it's a heavy subject with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman. But here's what Kevin Feige had to say during a interview while promoting Black Widow. He says, "It's clearly very emotional without Chad, but everyone is also very excited to bring the world of Wakanda back to the public and back to the fans. We're going to do it in a way that would make Chad proud." Black Panther Wakanda Forever releases July 8th, 2022. Any thoughts that you guys might have? I know we've talked about this on Apocalypse, but has anything changed? Any new ideas? We know the multiverse is opening up in the MCU. Does that present opportunities, or would you rather they keep it in the family and help fill the void of T'Challa no longer being... I mean, he'll obviously be in the movies, but as far as Chadwick's presence and him being physically there, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Keith.
I want to cry. Still want to cry. Hasn't even been. Let's talk about as we were talking about. I mean, it hasn't even been a year yet, man. We're still. It was.
Gio, I'll never forget where we were when we heard the news.
Gio was helping. Together, right?
Gio was helping me move, and we were like nearly done. My old apartment was almost empty, and Gio tells me, and I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it, and we put on Black Panther and Civil War like right away, back to back. Like
your place got very quiet because
I was I put it in the chat. My son sent me the text. I was on my way home from work. I was stopping at this place down the street getting something to eat, and he just sent me a little the kind of a sad face emoji, and I saw it just said image. You know how sometimes the text comes up and just says image, you can't see what it is. And I was just like, oh no. I clicked on it and I was just stunned. Like everybody, of course, but like really, I mean everything, my heart just sank. I immediately went, checked. I saw that it was he sent me a link from TMZ, so I was like, okay, well, it's true. And I remember putting it in our group chat, like, what? And then we were all just, I don't know, man. But so still sad. Obviously, we're all still sad about it. I get kind of just choked up inside just thinking about it because I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough. I hate to immediately go to, oh, what are we going to do with Black Panther? But I mean, it was natural to,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of felt silly doing that. I still kind of do. But obviously, the world does go on. So, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I'm curious to see it. I can't wait to see what Ryan Coogler does. But knowing, I don't think any of us knew what a big role Boseman played, especially like in the dialogue and in the just with a lot of the writing and just so much input. It's like I think it wasn't until Ryan Coogler released his statement about it. I don't know if you guys remember his letter he wrote, but where he revealed all that. And man, that was just such a huge loss. So I'm sure it's been a real tough task trying to figure out what to do. But it's in good hands. I trust him. Obviously, he's a great filmmaker, so we trust him. We trust Kevin Feige. So it's going to be very powerful, man. I can't imagine there's going to be any dry eyes in the theater when we go see it. No matter what they do. So I don't know, man. Like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not. But I don't know. We'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. Like it's easy. Actually, it's not. Neither way is easy. Like going forward with the movie's not easy. Not doing the movie would not be easy either. But they could have said, okay, we're just not going to make Black Panther movies anymore. We're going to have these characters in the MCU still and have the other characters pop up, but we're not going to do like Black Panther movies. And while I would understand that, I think it would be the wrong move because do you think Chadwick Boseman would want his passing to be the reason why they don't make Black Panther movies anymore? He would say, I mean, I didn't know him, but I've watched interviews and I hear him talk. He would say, hell no, like you guys are making more Black Panther movies. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind a recasting either, but they're not. They already announced they're not doing that, which is fine. I'm just curious, like, and I know it's completely different, but like, I know we're going to talk about F9 later and talk about Paul Walker, but it's like you kind of feel his presence in the movie still, like the character, but the actor's obviously passed, but you feel the presence of the character in the movie still, even though he's not on screen. I'm wondering, like, what are they going to do with the character? Like, did he pass in the universe? Is he still around, but he like retired and went off to hiding or something? I'm curious what they're going to do with that. And I can't think of a more difficult. And the difference is Paul Walker. Yes, he was the one of the two main leads from the beginning of that franchise, right? And it turned into an ensemble type event film franchise, so they can make them without him. With Black Panther, we're talking about the lead actor, the titular character who plays the actor who plays him dying. Like, how do you how do you like do it without the main character? It's like imagine if they made an Iron Man movie like without, like they made Iron Man 3 but it didn't have Tony Stark in it. Like, it depends, like, right, you could say Rhodey's Iron Man now or whatever. You can do that.
Iron Man wasn't fun. So
that'd be cool, but like it's just tough, man. Like, so bottom line is that like I'm cool with them making the movie because I have a strong feeling that Chadwick Boseman would want them to continue making this movie, and I'm really curious how it's going to be, how they're going to tackle it, how they're going to execute the storyline of him not physically being there. So it's going to be interesting.
Some things I will add, Kevin Feige has said they will not recast T'Challa and there won't be any CGI. So it only gives us more questions. But the fact that they're moving forward means they have a story that's confident enough to, I guess, maneuver in a way that continues. I mean, it is the subtitle Wakanda Forever. So as long as Wakanda is alive and thriving, he will always be a part of that, as will
For sure,
the ancestors. So yeah, let's go to another movie that just started production.
Hold on, we're getting some direction from our producer here in the chat here.
No worries, we'll fix it next time.
It's a first show back. All right, so another movie has started filming. This one is a little bit more on a happier note if you're a fan of the franchise. John Wick Chapter 4. The cameras are rolling, and as a reminder, here are most of the cast members that will be in the movie. Bill Skarsgård, Donnie Yen, Hiroyuki Sanada. I'm going left to right. Obviously, Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves. So we know John Wick Chapter 4 and 5 are on the way. How much more can you guys take from this franchise? What else do they need to do now that we're 4 movies in?
That's a good question. It's a great question.
I know.
Now, Jacob, you love John Wick 3.
I love that movie so much.
Your favorite movie that year?
It might have been, but wait, what came out that year? I got to look at my rankings that year, but it was definitely it was like top 3. It was top 3 for sure because it came out one of the years that
was that 18 or 19?
It came out one of the years that Endgame or Infinity War came out. So whichever one of those came out that year,
I think it was
that was number 1. But so anyways, so we've been going back and forth on this movie for forever because like you like it, right? But you don't love the ending.
It's the exact same. He ends up right exactly where he was at the beginning. And I think it's great. I love it. I think it's really good. But I'm just saying the ending. I don't know. It just felt like it's the exact same way as number 2 ended, and it's the exact same place he was at the start of 3.
Hey, but it was a storyline to give us more movies, though. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it.
How many more people? Well, Gio asked a great question, like how much, listen, it's great. I'm super, I love Donnie Yen very much. So I'm super happy about that. I'm a huge Donnie Yen guy. How many more people are they going to send at him? Like he's killed everyone that he's faced. The ones he hasn't killed are people that or friends of his that he let go. Or people, or acquaintances, or people that he respects that, he just let go. And like what? And I'm stuck within the story. Like I just can't imagine. Like what more can they do here? I'm curious. Obviously something because they're coming out with 4. But I hope. I kind of like to see this thing get wrapped up here. Like this all started with the dog and the car and like, all right. And I mean like. They keep sending these people after. It's a crazy world where I think the whole world is assassins, and because
like just everyone on Earth is an assassin.
I really think it is. I really think it's just a weird universe where everybody is part of this weird underworld.
That's kind of cool. Like we all just have our normal lives, but like everybody gets a text notification.
Everybody gets
There's a hit on John Wick, and I'm like, oh man, do I really want to go make $1 billion and try to kill John Wick? No, I don't want to die.
I'll get the next one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So And like I said, he's killed everybody they've sent after him. So I mean, like, at what point, like, just leave him alone? You know, I don't know, but I can't wait to see whatever Donnie Yen's going to do. And you got Pennywise in there. Who it
I
feels
wonder
if he's
I
actually
wonder
Pennywise.
who he's gonna like. If he's gonna be an assassin or just like something else.
Some kind of.
Well,
yeah,
you just said everyone's an assassin, so
everyone's pretty much.
I hope
I don't
that the Scorpion actor is actually playing Scorpion, and Scorpion goes and fights John Wick, and then John Wick's gonna defeat him in like 2 minutes.
He might. He probably would. It's Warner Brothers, right? They could probably do that if they wanted. So.
Hey, why isn't John Wick in Mortal Kombat? The games?
In the games? I know. Yeah, that would
he?
be cool. He should be.
He should just be in the movies too. Like what?
With a pencil. He do fatality with the pencil.
That'd be pretty cool. No, man. I'm stoked about this movie. Like I liked the first one, and everybody was hyped about it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like it was great. Came out of nowhere, but I wasn't as excited. I didn't like it as much as the consensus. Right. The second one is cool. Like, second one's cool. Everyone liked it. I liked it. But the third one, like, I know a lot of people love it. I think I love it more than most people. Like, I just, I was in awe. Like, I watched it by myself, and I was just, when I'm enjoying a movie, I just like feel nonstop joy in my chest, and I'm just like, yes, this is why I go to the movies, and that's how I felt the whole time watching John Wick Chapter 3.
Gio, you saw
and I'm not
right?
even expecting it to be to be as good, but I'm all in on this franchise. Is all I'm saying.
You saw John Wick 3, right, Gio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I think I might have enjoyed it more than the second one, and I was pretty high on the second one. I love the back and forth between Keanu Reeves and Common. So for me, that was a highlight. This franchise is on a high. The only question is, like, what else could they do to not make things seem repetitive? Like we don't want to get desensitized by the idea, the concept of gun fu in Keanu Reeves. So as long as you keep evolving it, I thought with the last one they did a good job with bringing in Halle Berry and her character with the two dogs and all that, and like that was cool to see. Keep doing things like that. I'm particularly interested to see what Donnie Yen brings. We know he can kick ass. He did in Rogue One and pretty much every other movie that he's in. So you don't bring him in just to make him a concierge at one of the assassin hotels. So, let's move on to something that I think Keith will be very excited about. So earlier this week, I posted in our group chat, Quentin Tarantino had a sit down with Joe Rogan, and it was a 3-hour conversation about his entire filmography, Hollywood back then when he started in the early 90s, late 80s, compared to today. But a big topic was the fact that Quentin is doing one more movie, and fans obviously want to know what that is. And a big contender for that last movie is a third installment of Kill Bill. And Quentin Tarantino has in the past been open to the idea, but on Joe Rogan's podcast, he opened up and had this to say. I think it's just revisiting the characters 20 years later and just imagining the bride and her daughter Bibi having 20 years of peace, and then that peace is shattered. And now the bride and Bibi are on the run, and just the idea of being able to cast Uma Thurman and cast her daughter Maya Hawke in the thing would be effing exciting. Ellie Driver is still out there. Sophie Fatale is got her arm cut off, but she is still out there. They all got Bill's money. Actually, Gogo had a twin sister, Shiaki.
What?
So her twin sister could show up. A lot of ideas flowing through Quentin Tarantino. He's obviously open to this. We've heard him talk about a Star Trek movie. We've heard him talk about possibly doing another Western movie. But Kill Bill Volume 3 is always brought up every time Quentin Tarantino is in an interview, it seems like, because it makes sense, right? The story would continue with Vivica Fox's daughter, who witnessed her mother get killed in the first movie. So, what do you guys think? Should this be his last movie? Do you have another movie in mind? The danger of revisiting a franchise 15 years later. What do you think?
Yes. Now, yes. So he's been saying this. He said this. I remember he said this at the time when the movie came out. That this was an idea that he's had. So he's the type of guy. He comes up with ideas. He came up with the idea for Kill Bill when they were shooting Pulp Fiction. So he'll come up with an idea. He'll write some notes and he'll put it away for a few years. He did the same thing with Inglourious Basterds. He started writing that at or around the time of Jackie Brown. Put it away. Did the Kill Bill movies. Did Death Proof. And he said he opened his drawer, found Inglourious Basterds, and just finished it. He said he just kind of forgot about it. He kind of forgot about it, and then he just like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was doing this, and then he finished that. So,
well, thank goodness, because that's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Is Inglourious Basterds.
On the DVD for Jackie Brown, he doesn't have it doesn't have a commentary, but what it has is, I don't know if you guys remember pop-up video, but it's something similar to that where it just has a running thing of facts on the bottom of the screen all throughout the film. And in this is on the DVD for Jackie Brown, which came out in '97. It said that Quentin's currently working on a World War II epic, and that's what turned out to be.
Wow, dude! Yeah. And Jackie Brown is a badass movie. Thank you for having me watch it. I love, honestly, it's crazy because it was the only one I hadn't seen.
Right.
And also, so my younger brother is a huge Tarantino fan as well.
Okay.
And he hadn't seen Jackie Brown either. So I watched Jackie Brown, loved it. Honestly, I think it's top 3. That's crazy.
I keep telling people,
to say, but it's your favorite, right?
That's my number 1. Yes.
And it's to me, it's honestly my in my top 3. My brother, who loves Tarantino, watched it, and he's saying the same thing. He loved it.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I remember I told you this after I watched it. It's still to this day my favorite Sam Jackson performance of all time.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, right. He's so great in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite Robert De Niro performances too. He's so good in this movie.
Honestly, yeah, it is one of my favorite, and because it is very not what you're used to with Robert De Niro. It is.
It's very subtle. It's very quiet. He's really kind of, but if you
he's chill. A lot of the movie, he's chilling in an apartment with some girl, just smoking weed, hanging out. He's very he doesn't talk a lot. He's very relaxed and chill. It's weird.
Yes,
but it's great.
But yeah. So as far as Kill Bill though, so I've been waiting for this forever. I've always thought, as a Tarantino guy, I've always thought this is what he would do. And he's been saying for 20 years. Like I said, this interview comes out. He's been saying this all along. A lot of people don't believe him, but he's only making 10 and then he's done. And so I think it would only be right that he would finish with Kill Bill 3. The idea, obviously, if you remember that scene, the idea was there, obviously, right from the beginning. I think he's had it in mind all this time. The bride, which is Uma Thurman's character, she shoots Vivica Fox, and then the little girl's there, and she says, trust me.
One day you're gonna come for me.
Right. She's like, I didn't mean to do this in front of you, but trust me, your mother had it coming. And then she says, when you grow up, if you still feel raw about it, I'll be waiting for you. And so, everybody,
that's literally that writes itself.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So the fact that she wants to cast Uma's daughter. Uma and Ethan Hawke's daughter Maya, which is really great.
She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yes, she was. She was in that. She was also. Well, that's interesting because the actress that plays her, Uma Thurman's daughter, is also in that movie. So I thought
that's right. Yeah. That they would cast that let
Yeah.
her play her.
Yeah.
But
So,
you
I don't
can
know.
go either way
Either
when
way,
you haven't
exactly.
shown the adult version of the character yet, right?
Right. But she looks like Uma Thurman, so I think
Exactly. So it makes more sense.
Makes more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, exactly. So I get that, but and then you find that actress, or you find somebody. I don't know. A lot of people were talking about Zendaya playing Vivica's daughter.
Ooh, I'd be cool with that.
I think, yeah, I remember that. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Gio.
I honestly like Zendaya as an actress.
She's awesome. She's really good.
I do,
Yeah.
and you know what I like her in, which the movie's not great, is The Greatest Showman.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Okay.
Oh, really? So
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
The movie's not good, but the music,
Right.
the musical, it's just a long musical. There's
Right.
and it's great, and well, she's great. The music's great in it. The musical numbers are great in it, and then her, Zac Efron, and Hugh Jackman are amazing. So
yeah. That's kind of what I heard. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm into it. I hope that if you want to go Zendaya, great. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that other young actress is acting. So I think that'd be a great way to go.
Kill the Bride. That would be
man.
One hell of a. All right, so I'll say I want this movie very, very much, very, very much, but I don't want it to be his last movie, and I don't think it will be. He's gonna make more movies than one more. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you guys right now. I'll put money on it.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah, I think he's been saying it forever. I believe him because he says, I think he said it in this interview, but he says directors don't get better with age. There's very few directors that get better. Like he's like, I refuse to be that. I'm not going to be. I can't remember his example. He was like, I don't want to be. I can't remember. He named some director and some like bad movies they were making at the end, and it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, kind of get what he's saying, but I don't know. I kind of tend to believe.
You guys are, to a certain extent, each of you are creative people, right? To a certain extent, like obviously. I mean, Gio, what you do running your YouTube channel, that's creativity. Keith, I know you want to be a filmmaker, that's creativity. That itch to be a creator never goes away. It's always there. So I just don't look. He can make this movie and say it's his last, but then what if he has another Inglourious Basterds idea? I'm not saying literally Inglourious Basterds sequel. I'm saying like just something like that, or another Kill Bill idea. Like
what I was saying is
because I said I was going to retire. Am I not going to make this great idea that I had? See, I just don't.
What you got to remember, he's also a writer. So
So you're saying maybe he can write scripts and not direct? Okay.
Yes.
I still count that as him not retiring, though.
Yeah, well, but he says directing. So if he says he retired from directing.
As long as he's around somewhere in Hollywood doing something, then I'm fine with that. But yeah, I'm down for this. Oh, as an actor.
Okay. And you know what, Star Drew? Yeah, I was gonna say he does act. So that's a good point.
Hey, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, he was on.
That's
he was on
Robert
Alias
Rodriguez movie.
Yeah. So.
All right, Gio, what do we got next, man?
Well, we have some Fast 9, but do you want to save that for during the discussion, or just go for it right now?
Yeah, go ahead. How many more news stories do we have?
Well, one of them is a rapid fire, and then so I'll just bring up the Fast 9 or the Fast and Furious, and I'll combine them both. So that way it's just two.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Hobbs and Shaw proved that the Fast and Furious franchise can provide successful spinoffs. Your definition of success might vary. Hobbs and Shaw was a success. Not as big as they hoped, but it was a success. So, during an interview promoting F9, the Fast Saga, the director, Justin Lin, who's done 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9, he will also do 10 and 11, finishing the Fast and Furious, at least the saga films, the main films. He introduced well, he didn't introduce the movie F9 introduced the idea of bringing spoiler. Not that anybody, I don't think anybody cares. The Brian O'Connor character back, Paul Walker. This might seem controversial, but Paul Walker has been on the record saying there were 12 movies planned initially. And so Vin Diesel, the casting crew, Justin Lin, they decided it was best to finish Furious 7. And then that went on to Fate of the Furious, F9, and they decided let's finish this thing in his honor. So Justin Lin said, obviously, Paul and his character Brian are the soul and heart of how we've moved forward. Bringing him back is something that I think about every day. As we near the end of the franchise, it's a conversation I'm having. I think about this possibility every day. So not only are they thinking about bringing Paul Walker back, well, Brian O'Connor, the character back, they also have plans to milk this franchise as much as they can between now and who knows when. And part of that is doing a Cypher spinoff. Charlize Theron was doing an interview with Variety, and she said, meanwhile, Vin Diesel tells me that he has writers working on a Fast and Furious spinoff for Theron's character, Cypher. So this franchise is doing a lot of things, from bringing back characters who have previously died, like Han, now Brian, and they're even finding more ways to give spin-offs. So call it a state of the franchise. Any excitement? Any opinion? What do you got?
I'll go ahead and go because I know Keith doesn't care much about this franchise, but I'm sure you appreciate Paul Walker to a certain extent. It's weird because what are they going to do? Are they going to cast a new actor? Are they going to have his brothers do the thing and do the facial CGI thing?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm curious. I took that little tag at the end of the movie. It was the last scene. It wasn't like an after credit scene or anything.
I read about
there is one, but it wasn't the Paul Walker one. I just saw his car driving up to the dinner at the end. I just took it as just a reminder that the character's still alive in the world. Yeah. And you know what? Like, look, I have a special connection to this franchise because it's my little brother's favorite movie franchise, and I used to buy him, like, whether it was his birthday or Christmas. I used to buy him the latest Blu-ray for the recent one that came out, and right now that brother is in jail, my brother, and so I can't do that anymore. So I have a soft spot for this franchise, and but I'll tell you, F9 sucks, by the way, and I'll tell you that. I'll be honest about that, but right up front, I don't care if I have a sentimental connection to the movie or to the franchise. F9 sucks, which disappoints me because I love Justin Lin. But I'll just say, like, I'm never gonna be like F the Fast and Furious franchise, F them bringing back this character. I'm all for it. Like, I can't not be. It's just a thing. So I'm okay with them if they think that it's, best to make the best movie possible, then sure. Like, that's fine. But I just don't think it's necessary. Like, I think they can finish it without him. But anyways, I was getting at that, like, it's nice to know, because obviously Paul Walker is deceased, but it's nice to know that he's living through these movies still. Like, his character is still alive in this world, which is kind of a cool thing to think about, like, he kind of lives through that in a way. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I would rather than leave it alone, to be honest, and just finish whatever you're going to do without him, and just keep referencing that he's still alive. He's watching the kids while they're out doing missions,
or just he's doing something, like, I don't know. There's something he's doing where he can't.
Well,
be
Keith,
there.
so Vin Diesel has a kid, right? In the franchise now.
Yeah, no. His
Dom has a
name's Brian.
kid, and then obviously Brian and his wife have a kid, kids. So like when this, so Dom's sister shows up to like join the mission, and they're like, "But where are the kids?" They're in the best hands possible with Brian.
Yeah.
Aww. So that's kind of how.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it happens. Spoilers for anybody who cares, but
that's what I'm saying. Well, at
like
some
I'm
point,
cool
though,
with them just keep doing something like that.
Yeah. At some point, they gotta like. There's not much more than that you really can do. I would agree if they would just keep it there, because look, the actor's gone. He's been gone for like 6 years almost now. Like you can't. It's the idea of trying to keep him around. Well, yeah, we can see him again, and I don't like that. Like, we gotta. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Like, it's okay. Like, he had a nice send off in 7.
You were in the middle of production of a movie, and he passed away, and you want to finish that one movie with him in it.
Yes.
But after that, don't make it more difficult for you guys.
Right. Exactly. And so, like they did with 7, like it was and they gave him a really nice send off at the end of 7, and it really felt like, okay, he's he's gone. And like you said, we know that he's still there. They can obviously there's mention of him, and but just like you said, yeah, you're exactly right. They're making it tougher than you really need to. You got there's plenty of other characters to build around or to continue this franchise with. Obviously, they're bringing back characters from movies past. With I know Bow Wow and Lucas Black are in this one. They bring back from Tokyo Drift. You still got Eva Mendes character out there. Obviously, they spun off with Hobbs and Shaw, and there's characters you can bring over from there. And it's a weird, crazy universe. And I don't know, but yeah, I'm not fond of the idea of trying to carry on this character. Like I think. Like I said, it was so nice what they did at the end of 7. Like I think
exactly why that's our memory of the character now, of the last time we see him.
Yeah.
Why would you tarnish that?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I may, I've been supportive of a lot of things regarding this franchise, but this ain't one of them. I think it dilutes what they did in Furious 7, which was a very difficult thing to pull off, and one that it transcended the franchise for me with that movie, because it went very emotional and it was done so beautifully, so poetic, that now you're going to bring him back, and it's just like, I mean, we can get in the Fast 9 whenever you talk about it, but it's just I don't know about this. But we'll see. Any interest in the Charlize Theron spinoff? I mean, as a lead, she can do action, so
yeah.
As long as there's no Star Wars reference dialogue in it, because Keith, you would have cringed at the dialogue, and it's not her fault. It wasn't even her. I didn't mind her dialogue. The guy who was talking to her dialogue was terrible. She was actually pretty funny, to be honest. She says, she's like, "No, you're more like Yoda," and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay with that. Yoda's a powerful Jedi," and she's like, "No, Yoda's a puppet with a hand up his ass." I'm like, that's pretty funny, actually. But the whole conversation was cringy. So.
Terrible. Yes. Yeah. See, so she's not gonna do. So she'll.
But anyways,
make this spinoff. And then with her, she's not going to be in the Furiosa spinoff, which is annoying.
I will never say no to any movie that stars Charlize Theron. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it just all depends on who they get to direct. I mean, if George Miller signs on, then you're like, oh, whoa, yeah, come on. Like,
watch it end up. I mean, whoever directs, watch it end up being the best movie in the franchise. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, last one. Rapid fire through these. Basically, they're all covers of the Suicide Squad from Empire Magazine. Now, in my opinion, Empire Magazine does a much better job with their covers as opposed to Entertainment Weekly. So I'm going to show these, and you guys give your opinions. Let's start with this one.
That one on the left is dope.
Cool.
They're
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
pretty cool, to be honest. I want a poster of the one on the left.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
that's sick. Thinker, a lot of
Thinker.
in this
Yeah.
in these covers.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right.
honestly, I have a bad taste in my mouth from the Thinker from the Flash because it was like absolute trash in the worst season.
Yeah.
But this Thinker looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
He may very well have a connection
And-
with Starro.
Amanda Waller is
Okay.
a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is.
All right, next one.
I
I like both of these.
What do you guys want me to say? I should not comment.
Well,
No, these look amazing. No, and I'll explain that for context. I mean, everybody who doesn't have a crush on Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn? I think everybody does, but I have an unhealthy infatuation with it. But also, I love that Jack Courtney's back in this movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's my favorite Jack Courtney role ever is Captain Boomerang. And I love that his boomerang is glowing. That is very, very cool. But
yeah.
But honestly, all right, infatuation aside, I love that they're doing the old school design, not old school, but like that design for Harley Quinn, the outfit. I love that they've kind of adapted it. I love that look for sure.
Is that Pete Davidson in the background there?
Yeah, I'm curious. I like Pete Davidson.
Blackbird.
I'm curious how he's gonna do in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
I like the what was that movie? The King of Staten Island. I actually really like that movie.
Oh yeah,
But
I want to watch that.
I'm a Judd Apatow a truther, but so I'm rooting for Pete Davidson for sure.
Yeah.
I think he may have if he gets killed off, he'll probably have the funniest death out of all of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And regarding Captain Boomerang, the more I see, whether it be official photos, magazine covers, trailers, I'm getting the sense he's going to get killed off early. We don't see a lot of him.
I hope not. Honestly,
Interesting.
if they kill Captain Boomerang, I will be pissed. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Gio probably already knows that it's confirmed that he's dead. Gio probably already knows, but I'm just look. That's how passionately I like the character. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, last one, and we got Mongol.
There we go.
TDK. I believe her name is Sol Solaria. Rick Flag, Ratcatcher 2, Javelin, and Bloodsport.
Interesting. No,
Yeah,
I
pretty cool.
like these. These are cool. I'm a big Joel Kinnaman fan. Like if you guys haven't watched The Killing, it's a show like a crime mystery. I've said this to people before, but The Killing, which stars him and another woman, I'm forgetting her name right now, but is one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen in my life. Like challenges for the best ever. The Killing season 1, and I was a big fan of Joel Kinnaman. So when he was cast as Rick Flag, I was so stoked. So I'm glad he's back. I like him, and I know Gio. I know that it's been reported that Warner Bros. Told James Gunn he can do whatever he wants in this movie. He can kill whoever he wants. I believe that, except that there's no way they're letting him kill Harley Quinn. No way.
Harley Quinn.
I
Was
don't think
absolutely.
The only reason I would agree with you.
I would put $1 million on it if I had $1 million.
The only reason I would agree with you is because Margot Robbie has such a because she's a producer.
Yeah, exactly.
She's got so much weight behind that character.
But it also scares me because that means they probably will kill Captain Boomerang, which because they shouldn't though, because they should. I haven't heard one person ever say anything bad about the Captain Boomerang character in Suicide Squad. Like everybody said they didn't like most people say they're negatives about the movie, but Captain Boomerang was great. Margot Robbie was great. Will Smith was great. So pay attention. Don't kill off characters that people love, especially when they've only been in one movie. When they've only been in one movie so far. Like, it's cool if it's like Iron Man when he's been in 15 movies already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But Gio,
We will
what
find out next month.
which one of those stand out to you the most? What's your favorite?
Oh boy, let me take a look at them again. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one right here, based on. You think about the first movie. You have characters like Boomerang and Harley Quinn back. If you ask me to pick one cover, I'm gonna go with the Harley Quinn and Peacemaker. I'm excited to see. I mean, they greenlit that Peacemaker show like immediately, and that gets me curious about what John Cena brings to this movie as Peacemaker. His jokes have been hit or miss. Yeah.
Look, we all know John Cena's not the greatest actor, but I still like him in movies. Like, honestly, I even liked him in Fast 9. The storyline with him and Vin Diesel was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I don't mind. I mean, look, like, honestly, like Bumblebee, I think he hurt the movie, but something like Trainwreck, he elevated the movie. So he's hit or miss, kind of. But I liked him in F9, so we'll see. Obviously they're producing a multi-million-dollar series based on his character, so can't be bad, right?
Right.
And hey, the last movie Oscar win for costume and makeup, and I gotta say, it's
Oscar winning Suicide Squad.
It's still on par. The costumes look great. The makeup's fantastic. It could be an awards contender. You never know. I mean, never say never.
Are they built? It seems like this last trailer that came out, they're kind of doing a similar thing with Idris Elba that they did with Will Smith's character.
Yeah, identical. Like, he has a daughter,
right?
And Amanda Waller is like using that as leverage.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like Deadshot was in the script, and then they just like
that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
Put this character in because Will Smith wouldn't come back.
Yeah,
exactly.
So do you think he's going to be the center, like the kind of the main focus, sort of like he was? It seems like it.
From what I've read, the relationship between Bloodsport and Ratcatcher 2, who has taken over the mantle from her father,
right?
There will be a father-daughter like connection between the two throughout the movie, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Bloodsport misses his daughter, she misses her father.
Right.
Bloodsport could be not only one of the leaders of the squad, but maybe a father figure. Who knows?
A mentor. Yeah.
Wow, I forgot we have a DC expert in the house. So,
well, think about Guardians of the Galaxy and what James Gunn did for the Groot character at the very end when he's like, "We are Groot." Right. Could you imagine a moment like that in this movie between maybe a few of the characters? Probably.
Oh, look, this movie's going to be bonkers and insane, but I trust James Gunn as a filmmaker. It's not just going to be ridiculousness the whole time. There's going to be some heart in it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, well, not only that, but also with Yondu and Star-Lord at the end of the second one.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! That gets me every time. I
don't like that movie, but that was that's probably the best part of that movie.
Dude, the way Chris Pratt plays that when he's like, no, like when, oh my God,
yeah.
So I remember I was rewatching that movie and that scene came on, and I tweeted at James Gunn. I was like Guardians 2, it's not great, but I do think it gets a bad rap, to be honest. And I was like, Guardians 2 is underappreciated, underrated. And I said, especially the Yondu storyline. And he liked my tweet. I was stoked.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Which means he read it and heard my thoughts, which is pretty cool. And let's end on that high note on this James Gunn topic. Was that it for movie news, Gio?
That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So real quick, I just want to talk. So each month when we do this show, I do want to talk about the movies that came out and movies that we watched, like new releases. So what I've seen F9. I've seen A Quiet Place 2. Well, did A Quiet Place 2 come out in June? Must have, right? Well, anyways,
Let me check.
I think it did.
Hold on. Let me check.
we can still talk
It's
about it.
November.
Yes, thank you, Gio. As long as Gio's available when we do this show, I would love to have him as our movie news correspondent because that would be amazing. But also, so I've seen F9, Quiet Place 2, and Luca as far as recent releases. Have you seen Luca?
Yes.
Okay, so you've seen Luca and A Quiet Place 2. So out of those three movies that I've seen, I just want to say really quick, Quiet Place 2 is the best one, maybe by far. Yeah. I like Luca a lot. Luca's cute. I like it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's... Look, Pixar has a lot of movies now. So to crack the top 5...
Not 5, 10. I think it's mid-tier. It's mid-tier Pixar.
To crack the top 5 is hard, is all I'm going to say.
It's up there. It's in the mid-level with like, I don't know. What's I don't know. What's a mid-level Pixar movie that's kind of, it's okay.
I mean, I don't know about you, how you feel, but like the first Cars to me is a mid-level Pixar movie.
I love Cars. That's
the first one.
That's a special movie. So I love Cars. But I know what you mean.
I mean, Cars 2...
Yeah, man. I thought Cars 3 was pretty good.
I haven't seen Cars 3.
I think it's pretty good.
I need to watch it because I can't go on through life without watching a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Look, and I don't want to. And shout out to Gio. I guess he's heading out for the night. But he said he'll be in the chat and be watching. So thank you so much, Gio.
Thanks,
really
sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
But yes, so I haven't watched as many movies. Well, I've watched more movies than that, but as far as new releases go this month, those are the ones I've seen. And I got to say, even though I don't think it's a perfect film, A Quiet Place 2 takes the cake for me this month. What about you, Keith?
Oh, yeah, it's my number one probably for the year so far, which it's obviously there's not much to draw.
Yeah, I mean, look, last year, this year, I'm still keeping track of the movies that I've seen and all that. And so actually, let me bring up my list really quick, but go ahead, keep talking.
Well, I between that and now I know I saw A Promising Young Woman in January.
Well, that came out last year, but
it's a 2020 release, but I saw it in 21.
Oh, if that movie came out this year, it would be my number one movie by 1,000 miles.
Well, I saw it after we did our top 10s of the year last year. So I would have had it on my list for sure in top 1 or 2.
Dude, all right. So my top 3 movies last year: Invisible Man, The Gentleman, Promising Young Woman. My top 3 movies of 2020. Promising Young Woman is so good.
It's an incredible movie.
It's incredible. Yeah, it really is. But so I haven't put A Quiet Place 2 in here yet. But before I watched these 3 movies, The Mitchells and the Machines, or The Mitchells versus the Machines, was my favorite movie of 2021. It's a Netflix it's a Netflix animated film, but it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I believe I don't think they directed it.
Produced it.
But Keith, you haven't seen it?
No, never heard of it.
Keith, you have to watch this movie with your kids. Dude, it is so good. I gotta look up. I don't think they directed it, but let me look it up.
Right.
But anyways, I still think that might be my favorite movie of the year, to be honest. So it wasn't directed by them. It was directed by Michael Rianda and Jeff Rowe, but it is produced by them. I mean, I know. Well, I know you appreciate a good animated film. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Like I love
anime.
A film is a film. Like I don't care what medium. if it's animated, whatever
Yeah.
if it's stop motion, if it's all CGI, like I don't care. Good story, good characters. It's a movie,
Right.
and Mitchell's and the Machines is my favorite movie of the year, or Mitchell's versus the Machines. But
Okay.
Quiet Place 2 probably is right behind it, and
Right.
it's just like I don't think Quiet Place 2 is as good as Quiet Place 1, and I don't think we did do a spoiler review on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, my opinion changes a little bit with time, and I think with time I've appreciated it more because the highlight of those movies is to create tense environments and create horror through environment, and they do that so well in this movie. And I just love how, like, when the creature gets to the island and it's like open season for them, there's just a bunch of people around. It's so brutal, like how fast they move and just take people out. But anyways, and then I would say, if we're just talking about movies from June, Luca is a really solid movie. Really good, really solid, very enjoyable. And then F9, honestly, like, I know it's hard for me to admit, but F9 sucks. Like, straight up dog crap.
I remember, and that's why I was like, I thought when the trailer first came out last year and we talked about it, I was like, you know what? I'll probably go see this one in the theater. This will be the first one I go see. The closer we got to it, and I'm watching more and more images and TV spots, and I'm like, this looks like just nonsense. I can't bring myself to pay money to go sit in the theater and watch this nonsense for.
And what's weird is that, like, I don't know what turned you off from the trailers, but
it was a spaceship car.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even see that in the trailers. Like, I stopped watching trailers after the first two.
Yeah.
But I see, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in the movie.
In the movie, yeah.
But like, I could see a lot of people saying, and even I was like, "Oh, Dom had a brother this whole time. Wow, how convenient." And oh, it's John Cena. Like, I could see a lot of people thinking that was going to be the negative aspect of the movie. It was the best part of the movie for me. Like, so they show flashbacks when they were kids, like when they're like, I guess young adults or teenagers. Oh, they're teenagers. They're like 16 and 18 or something.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was kind of the best part of the movie, and their relationship and how that concludes. But outside of that, like, as far as like, because it's like the same thing, right? They do all the missions. There's all this comedy.
Yeah.
It's just trash. Like, Taylor, my girlfriend, like, she's a casual movie watcher, right? She, like, sometimes I think, like, I think there's a sense of respect for when we go watch movies, like, as for us, because, like, we don't want to laugh at a movie, like, because we don't want to, like, disrespect it, even though we think it's trash, But she was straight up laughing at the action. Like, she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, it's so silly." Like, and if
that's the thing, is I think
when
they
you have
know
a casual viewer doing that,
yeah,
it's bad.
Well, and it seems like they know that. I watched Chris Duckman's review, and he said, like, it's like they've turned it into the silly, like what everyone thought, like the direction that everyone thought they're going to go in. Now they're going to go to space, and these movies are getting way more. It's not just like they're self-aware and they know there's. Like, I know there's jokes that, like, Tyrese is making jokes about. Oh, I think we might actually be invincible. Like, because I told you I read the whole.
This is so true to Rachel's comment here. It's so true because, like, there's a scene at the end of the movie where he's talking to his son and he's like, "Oh, so you know how at every movie they have like a barbecue and they say grace and stuff."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, buddy, you ready to say grace?" And it's like he's standing like this, and the boy's like, "But I don't know what to say." And he's like, "Just say what's in your heart." And it's like that same expression. Like, and look, I appreciate Vin Diesel a lot.
I like him. I really like him. Yes.
But we know he's not a great actor.
Yeah. He's charming. He's got, like, he seems like a really nice guy from what I hear.
There's a reason why he's starring in these billion-dollar movies.
Well, it's crazy. I think this is what, when he left the the first one
Mhm.
to do Triple X. I know, like these movies are what I think he thought Triple X was going to be.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And then
Like the big action franchise.
yes, and then it just I don't know. It's weird. These ones just took off for some reason. So yeah, like I said, I read the whole plot synopsis on Wikipedia, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go see this. I'm going to rent it as soon as it's available on.
Look, it's already pulled in 428 million. In I consider us still in the pandemic era. Like I still think there's a lot of people hesitant to go to the movies.
Sure.
So 428 million already in the pandemic era is great.
That's very good. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Is Keanu Reeves supposed to be in the next one?
I hope so. That'll just make it better. The Fast movies desperately need that ensemble aspect back. Characters like Hobbs and Brian, former agents, and even Giselle help made you semi-believe they could pull off such missions. Comment from Gio, our news correspondent.
They do need.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, okay, you have like these casual like mechanics and stuff who became super spies, right? But then you introduce like a character like Giselle, who we knew was like a super spy, right? And okay. Cool. You can have like casual, like badass drivers working with super agents, and they just work together and get stuff done. But when it gets a little ridiculous sometimes, so
let's change out some team members here. It's all the same people.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like it's gotten old, like Ludacris and Tyrese, and
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, well, like Hobbs and Shaw, like we're bringing in Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Hart over there, and like
switch it up, or even like whatever. Throw Tyrese with Hobbs and Shaw, and then bring in somebody else to be in this movie. Like mix it up, you know. Like if you're gonna do it. But I will say, Jason Statham wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
But he's in the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I love Jason Statham so much. Like he's a
huge
treasure. Have you seen Spy?
Yes.
Isn't he so hilarious in that movie?
Yes.
Do you remember when, like, at the end, he takes the boat like on the lake, and he's like, "All right, I'm riding off into the sunset." I forget what he says, but he basically takes like a motorboat. Like, they're all done. They complete the mission. Like happy ending, and he rides off onto a lake, which like doesn't lead to anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's just like driving off onto the lake as if he's gonna like go out into the ocean and
off into
ride to a different country or something. Like
he is the best part of that movie. Yeah, definitely.
He's so he's great at comedy too. He's great at comedy. But yeah, man. I mean, you haven't seen F9, but we had a very like interesting conversation considering you haven't seen the movie. And I know we talked about this with The Quiet Place too, back when we did our spoiler review, but I'm curious to you, has it changed for you? Because this was my one negative, is that like, do you think that movie can stand on its own? Like, can you, like, is the ending satisfying to you? Like, what if they never made a third one?
I think it is. I think it is a satisfying ending because they got away, because they're trying to figure out how to stop this one monster that's trying to kill them, and they do. And then to keep the people, the other kid back at the house, or the warehouse or wherever they are, trying to figure out how to kill that monster, and they do. And so if they just end it there, it's because you got to look at it like they're just trying to get out of the situations that they're in. If you look at it like as a larger global, we need to figure out how to stop these monsters all over the world, then it's not satisfying. But if you just look at the story, smaller,
to me, doesn't the family have to reunite? Like
they do, and you kind of have to assume that they will.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I can see how you can kind of leave you wanting at the end. But the whole point was that she was going to get to that radio station and the brother's listening. She told him to listen, and so I figured somebody will get on there and say, "Hey, come to this island." And so I don't know.
Yeah,
because he goes to that's how I took it. So
I still like it. I love it. It's great filmmaking. And look, it's our boy John Krasinski putting in work. So we can't be mad. All right. So real quick before we move on for movies, you wanted to talk about Spiral. I haven't seen it. So do you want to wait until I've seen it, or do you want to drop some comments on it?
If you plan on seeing it, we can wait on. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to like watch it before the next show or anything. But
so I mean, it's a month from now, so I could.
Okay. Well, it depends.
What
do you? Well, are you into the Saw movies?
Yes. So without spoiling it, well, look, I love Chris Rock, and I like the Saw franchise, like overall. Yeah. There's some really bad movies in it, but I still like it overall. So is what you wanted to talk about spoiler oriented?
Oh no, I was curious if you. No, it's not. I can certainly do it without spoiling.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, whatever you wanted to get off your chest about Spiral.
Not too much. It's just really quick. But I was just curious about it. It's another movie I actually went and saw. I actually saw it, Gio, near your neck of the woods at the Studio Movie Grill. It's my first time ever going there.
Wow. Look, Gio, Keith's in our neighborhood doesn't hit us up.
Wow. I know. I absolutely thought about that. I said, I should call one of them and see if they want.
You'll have to next time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was the first time there. That's pretty cool. I had never been there before.
All right, look, it's not the best movie watching experience. But they don't have the best. I haven't been there in a while, actually. But when I used to go, they don't have the best visual and audio.
Okay, the audio was crazy for this. It was the loudest. I'm not kidding. The loudest I've ever heard.
Oh, they play it really loud, and I think their speakers are distorted.
It was super loud, and 21 Savage has like 4 songs on the soundtrack, and so when one of his songs popped up in the end credits, it was like, oh my god, this sounds like I'm at a concert.
21 Savage has songs on the Spiral soundtrack.
Yes, oh, wow. Yeah, he has a song called Spiral. I love it. It's really good. I like one of his songs.
Okay.
So yeah, but this is what I'll say. The Chris Rock's really good. He's actually really good in it. I don't know if you remember the trailers. I'll watch the trailer again if you want. And actually, don't watch the trailer. But the stuff.
I need to know something. Have you seen Top 5?
No, I've never seen Top 5. No.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I need to watch that. I've always heard about how good that is, and you've told me as well.
All right, so I added homework assignments to the end of the show notes, and I was gonna skip it because we didn't have time to think of one, but we're doing it at the end of the show. So
okay.
I thought of mine. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet. So if you have a homework assignment for me, I was thinking we can both assign one because we have a month to do it. If we don't finish it in a month, then we don't care, obviously. But okay, go. Sorry, Chris Rock reminded me of Top 5. So go ahead.
Yeah. He's really good in this. He's actually really, really good. But the connections to, and I've only seen some of Saw 1, so I've never really. Those movies never really.
Is there a heavy connection to Saw 1?
No.
I mean, you could just say yes. Oh, okay. I thought you were trying not to spoil something for me.
No, it's not that. Well, what I was going to say about it just overall is the connections to Saw are pretty thin, to be honest.
Really? Okay. I mean, I'm actually okay with that.
Okay. So just so you know, going in.
I'm not like a big Saw fan. Sure. I'm a mediocre Saw fan.
Yeah. It's not they just honestly, it could have been anything, and I think they just threw in a couple of.
But wasn't it like Chris Rock's idea, and he wanted to do it and everything?
Apparently, and it would be it fine. Like I said, it didn't necessarily have to be from the Book of Saw, like they call it. Like this could have been in any serial killer movie, but they just decided to add the Saw part and then some weird Saw machines that didn't really, So. But other than that,
whatever. I don't even care. All right, so we know Jigsaw's dead at this point, right?
And they say it in this movie. They're like,
he's still dead, right?
Yes. When the first murder happens, they're like, and he sends them a tape, and it's to play a game.
And is he still orchestrating stuff from the grave somehow?
So, what it is they're like, they say, okay. And you see a little video of the doll, and you hear the voice, and then they're like, "Okay, I thought the Jigsaw killer was dead," and they're like, "Nah, it's another copycat." Because he had all in what 3 or 4 or whatever. He had other people
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, it's another Jigsaw copycat, and that's essentially it.
Random question for you, Keith.
No, oh my gosh, Star Drew, I still haven't watched it. Jeez, I need Star Drew. I need you to keep reminding me to get on YouTube and watch this.
Is that like is that the Thomas Jane one?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Still haven't.
Did Star Drew give you a homework assignment and that you haven't finished still?
Pretty much, man. Me and Gio talked about this like a month and a half ago, and I still haven't watched that.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna get Star Drew. I promise I'm gonna get on it between now and our next show, or maybe by the next Fandom United. Because I know it's 4th of July. I don't know if we're doing
I definitely want to talk. I definitely want to see Spiral because I'm just curious. Like, even though like people say movies aren't good, like if I was interested, I still want to see it. You know?
Oh yeah, no, it's worth watching. It's definitely worth
unless people are like, oh my god, it was just the worst movie I've ever seen, or just like complete dog crap. Like then I'm like, okay,
yeah, it's not bad at all.
Time.
It's not bad at all.
Okay. I think people were disappointed because I think people were excited, is what it was, and they were disappointed.
It could have been a little bit more, but I don't want to say anything about the weird. There's some weird, like obviously it's brutal, like some of the murders, but it's not it doesn't seem as exotic or crazy as previous Saw movies.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But.
All right, man. Well, yeah. So that'll do it for the movie segment. We went a little bit longer than we normally will, but hey, it's the first episode back, so that's okay.
Yeah, man.